Greetings, RC model geeks, and here we are in the shed yet again for part 44 of the Sarik Hobbies de Havilland, Canada Chipmunk build. So no video for a little while. We've had like shitty weather, which means we couldn't get this outside to be able to assemble it. And also my mother has been slightly worse for wear, and she's got fluid on the lungs, so I've had to deal with that as well. So we are back at it today. I've managed to like just do the odd bit every now and again, but nothing really worthwhile videoing. So we're doing this fairing at the back. The last time we got this wood stuck on, and now there's a big fairing at the back here as well, which needs to be completed. Now if you just look at the drawing on this, it doesn't show it very clearly how this is all meant to work here. And if I move the camera over, we might be able to see a bit better what's going on. So it's like it's actually curved, this bottom bit, not here but the underside, and of course the drawing just sort of shows it in plan view, which looks like this bit of wood. You just come along, curve around and go that way. That's not exactly how it works. It actually needs to curve upwards as well, and if I bring this round the side here, you will see that there's an actual curve upwards to sort of carry on those curves that we have on the underside of the wing. So the way I got that sort of right, this bit of ply, thin ply, I glued it to this former here first, so it was like, you know, at 90 degrees to this former, and then I filleted in here with some epoxy to give it extra strength, because it's only butted on to this bit of wood, and let that go off, and then I could tweak this thin bit of ply upwards, give it that curve, and then I just made a little slot in the fuselage where that bit of wood shoves into, and that got the curve that way. And that's how you do it, basically. Yeah, and then I've sheeted the underside as well, just to get the strength in there. Now, I've left it slightly long at the moment, this bit of sheeting. Technically, it should be trimmed back to somewhere there. But this has got a finish exactly where the ailerons finish. Yeah, so I've left the option of being able to tweak the exact size of this until I put the wing back on again, so we can get it to line up spot bollock. Not a problem. Now these G4s, which are these little bits here that are meant to go in here, I remade them. The shape wasn't exactly right for how it was sort of going together, so I just made up a new one of those. No problem at all. And that's the easiest thing to do, rather than trying to get everything to fit to these. It's sometimes easier to remake the part so the part fits what you've got, and that's what I've done there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sheet the top side of this. This is like, it's, you know, all nicely curved. I'm going to sheet the top side of this here with balsa, and then probably use the litho plate for this part here, where that curve is. That's my thinking at the moment. I could almost get away with doing this with thin balsa, actually. If I put that on there, it will curve right round the shape that we've got going on. So I could just use balsa, and I might do that, I might not. It all depends how the mood takes me at the time and whether I can be bothered or not to dick around with the litho plate. So that is where we are at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sheet this with the balsa, get that all glued down. Before I do that, I'm just going to make a template out of this one. This one isn't glued in yet. There you go, see. And if I just compare it to what was there, as you can see, there's just a slight difference in the two. Yeah, mainly how it butts up to the fuselage here, and also the thickness of it here. But yeah, I'm going to make a template of one of those for the other side. Saves me having to work it all out again. This should be pretty close to the other side. And then I'll glue that in there, and then I'll sheet this, and then we'll see where we are. Maybe we'll just pop the wing on again just to have a sanity check to make sure that everything is still sort of lining up in the right places. Okay, we have progressed a little bit. So I've got the wood on there, a little bit of filler just to get a nice transition there, and that is what it then looks like. And underneath there. So that is looking pretty good to me. So the next thing, I think I'll have a go. I'm going to use a bit of litho plate, and I'll do a bit of this just to see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, then I'll balsa it. Right. So we have a sheet of litho plate, and I mean the principle is going to be, you know, that the thing is curved and it's going to sit in there somehow, and it's going to sit over here. It's going to have a bent up tab that will sit along the fuselage, and it will come round here, and it will just wrap tight around this curve. That is our plan. How we're going to get that to work, I don't know yet. We'll see which way bends best. That way probably easier to bend. Now on the full size, this is in separate panels. I think there's about 3 panels, 1, 2, 3, calling this one as well. So we only need to do about, you know, that much, 3 or 4 inches before we need an overlap. So, you know, we shouldn't have to struggle too much. Yeah, I think the first thing to do is to get a bend in this so that it bends up and then can go flush against the fuselage, and then we'll work out how we can actually get some sort of curve going. So I'm going to put a bend in this so we can put it up there against there like that. Right, okay, so what I've done is I've just taped down this bit of litho plate onto the fuselage. Obviously it can't be stuck down permanent yet because we've got to cover it first, and this plate is going to go on after. But this is sort of what I've come up with. And I've just made a little tool out of a bit of dowel and curved the end, so it's a bit like a finger really. And then I'm using that tool just to run up and down and sort of get the shape, and that's sort of stretching the lifer plate and getting it to go into that shape that we're sort of requiring. Okay, and then I've also been rubbing it along this edge here like that, just to get it to start to wrap round like that. And at the moment we want this to come off again, yeah, because like I said, this is going to be stuck on after it's covered, but if we can get it done now, then of course that is great. And that actually ain't too far off. I mean, you can also use your hands. This lifer plate is very thin, to get a bit more shape going on, you know, to get it to go round, etc, etc, etc. Now this ain't looking too bad. Once that is actually fixed to the fuselage, that is going to look at the dogs. At the moment, because we've curved it, it's sort of springing away. But once that is glued down or screwed, we might use those cheap Chinese screws again to simulate rivets along there. Yeah, I mean, really, I'm using this plane to sort of hone the old the scale techniques, you know. So it might not be completely done in a scale finish or whatever, but on bits of it, I want to try some sort of scale techniques. Hence, doing this in metal. You know, to simulate the metal fairings and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd call this a practice run for something bigger and better in the future. But yeah, that actually ain't looking too bad. I can pull this bit of tape off. Alright, as you can see, we've got quite a curve going on there, but once that is stuck down, yeah, that's going to sit quite nicely. And we need a little bit of curve and a bit of spring in it to hold it to the right shape anyway. But that is going to look the dog's doodads. And it'll just basically, isn't it? There it is. You'll see that will just slot over exactly like that. Be secured down there. And that's going to work perfect. Beautiful. That's come out really nice actually. It's come out better than I thought it would. Yeah, quite chuffed with that. And sort of doing this with litho, it's a bit similar. There's a crafting thing, you know, where you use paper and you indent it. I've forgotten what it's called now. You know, and you can make like birthday cards and decorations and stuff like that. And this is a bit similar actually in the way you you know, do things, because you can simulate panel lines on this. You could simulate rivets all the way along here. What you can do, if you had a soft block of wood, I don't really want to do it on this bit, I'll do it on another bit. I'll do it on a bit of scrap here, and I'll show you what you can do. Now you've got to have the right kind of tool, which I haven't got to hand, but I'll see if I can do it with this pen. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to simulate some rivets just very quickly. If I turn that over, as you can see, there's a load of simulated rivet heads. This lifer plate is brilliant stuff, and all I had was just a pen there and a soft bit of wood to push onto so that it puts an indent in it. And of course you can do like panel lines as well, you know, so you know, if you wanted to simulate a panel on a plane, you know, you can do that kind of thing. Obviously that's not a very good panel. But yeah, there's lots of things you can do with lifer plate. So there is one of their fairings. Let's put him back on there. Get him pushed in again, and I'm quite happy with that. I think once that's pushed on, it's so thin, this lifer plate, that we're not going to worry about clearance to the wing, and even if we were, we can glue this on and just trim it back, you know, if we're worried about the thickness of it. So yeah, the joys of litho plate. It's another one of those things that's getting harder and harder to find again. You know, with the digital revolution, less and less companies are doing lithographic printing, so this stuff is getting harder and harder to find. But yeah, that is going to look the dogs. Let's come around that way with the camera. You get a better idea of how that's going to sit on there. But that is going to look sweet. Anyway, that's where I'm going to call it a day for the day. My mother is still not very good, so, you know, got to go and do mother things, etc, etc. So hopefully, I mean, might be a video tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. You know, a lot of this still depends on the weather as well, because I need to get the plane together as well. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget the Big Shed campaign, link in the description, and don't forget Sarik Hobbies, because as the camera falls down, because without them we wouldn't be building this plane. So go and have a look at their website, see if there's anything on there that you might like. I've had messages from quite a few people now that say they've gone and bought something from Sarik, either a plan or a plan pack or whatever. So all positive, and it's good that people are getting inspired to have a go. If you don't have a go, you'll never know whether you can do it or not. So just go and have a go. You know, it's better than sitting at home watching YouTube, watching the RC Model Geeks, isn't it? Go and do it yourself. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Thank you for watching Captain Rob's RC Model Geeks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button. If you want to see more of the same type of videos, don't forget you can subscribe. If you want to support us, you can use PayPal, paypal.me/RC Model Geeks. If you want to contact us, you can email us rcmodelgeeks@gmail.com. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.